we are ready to go. So loading, we're about to jump in. Go ahead and grab your mat as you see this feed, and we are going live. So okay, welcome. So this is our outdoor yoga at the waterfall, but we are actually in front of the waterfall because it's super dry out back and it's super hot down at the water. So as we get into July and August, these classes might end up moving back into my studio depending on the weather. But next week we'll be teaching from the beach, so I'm excited about that. So go ahead and jump on your mat, grab a drink, and make sure you have plenty of water nearby, or I have kombucha today. And so we're going to go ahead and just begin with a little bit of pranayama. If you want to grab a drink, you'll hear the cicadas. That's something that I can't control. Sometimes they are super loud on Zoom. Sometimes they'll sing really loud, sometimes they won't. So we're going to begin by just finding some natural breath, flowing with our arms, inhaling up and exhaling out. Inhaling and reach, and exhaling out. Just grounding into the earth, reaching up toward the heavens. Exhaling, grounding down through your feet. And just use this practice to connect between earth and sky. Check in and breathe. Deep, full inhale all the way up. Exhale out. Let's bring our hands to our hearts. Bring our feet together. Spreading out the toes. Separate the heels slightly. Lifting the toes slightly. And then just grounding down through the corners of the feet beneath the big toe, pinky toe, center of the heels. And take a moment to set your intention. So why are you here? Why did you show up on your mat today? If you're just now jumping in, thank you for joining. And make sure you're muted. We'll just join here on the mat with setting our intention. So glad you're here. So just checking in, growing roots down from our tailbone, down through the bottoms of our feet. And allow those roots to go all the way deep, deep, deep. Down into the earth, to the very center core of our planet, tapping us in and breathing. Take a few moments there just to connect and ground. I'm going to adjust my camera here. Ladies, I cannot remind you enough to make sure you're muted. Please, please, please. So good to see you here. All right. So on the next inhale, we're going to reach up toward the sky. Take our palms together. We're going to take our index fingers and extend them to the sky. And then just take a little back bend, keeping the chin tucked. Exhale back. Let's reach all the way up. Here's my little rooster over here. Exhale, we're going to take our first swan dive, bringing the feet about shoulder width apart. Arms are going to come out to protect the back. So we're not swan diving with our arms forward because that creates a hinge on the low back. So take the arms open like wings and just dive down. Let your head drop out. Shake out your hair, head, neck, and shoulders. You're going to come up to the top of your mat here. Just gently drop the head out, grab opposite elbows, and just finding your forward fold, Uttanasana. Just gently rock out the body today. Again, reminding ourselves of our intention of our practice to really ground in to the earth today. Think about what you're thankful for. Touch the ground. And then you're just going to look forward, coming into monkey pose. Breathing here, spreading out the fingers. and step our right foot back and find a lunge. Dropping the left knee or the right knee down and scooting that left heel between the hands. Just finding our breath here in Anjaneyasana. Come on up and take a deep breath in. Exhale, coming back, stepping back, kneeling plank. Exhale, lowering down, heart center, chin, chest, belly. Touch the forehead, and then come up into Cobra for the first time today. And exhaling down. Press back to child's pose, tucking the toes, finding an active child's pose today, where the toes are tucked under, hands and feet are about shoulder distance apart. Just let your head drop. Inhale, back up into all fours, stepping that left foot forward this time, sliding that right knee back. Breathing here, and then reaching up, coming all the way up into your lunge. Exhale down and find your mini flow. Kneeling plank, chest first, like a little caterpillar, all the way down, coming up into Cobra. Exhale into an active child's pose, tucking the toes. Keeping the arms reaching forward, elbows are going to be off the ground. Toes are tucked under so we can really find that activation to the bottoms of the feet. Activating the hands, palms are open. From here, just let your head drop out, shaking it out. Deep breath here. On the next inhale, come up into your downward facing dog. And on your exhale, we're just going to lower the knees. Keep this long line of energy from the palm to the shoulder to the tip of the tailbone, making a 45-degree angle. So we're just going to use what we call downward facing puppy or turbo dog. We're just going to lower and lift using that core. And you just maybe can come down just a little bit. Pressing through the index finger and the thumb, grounding firmly with the hands. You might come down a lot. Belly button to spine. As you come down on an exhale, come up on your inhale. 2 more. Lowering and lifting. And last one here. Big breath in. Let's take that right foot up to the sky. We're going to bend the knee and open the hips, spread out the toes, and look underneath your right arm. Pick it back up and bring it down. Inhale, lift the left, bend the knee and open the hip. Nice big breath, kick it back up and bring it down. On the inhale, we're going to come into our full mini vinyasa. So taking a high plank. Exhale, bending the elbows, coming in a chaturanga. Inhale, coming into your upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. We're just going to move through that a couple times with our own breath. High plank. Lowering, making sure the shoulders stay above the elbow. You're not dipping down. You're just staying in a plank-like shape and bending the elbows. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. One more time, nice and slow, through that mini vinyasa. High plank. Chaturanga. Urdhva Mukha, upward facing. Adho Mukha. Downward facing Savasana. And just pedal out the legs. Find your breath here. Next breath, take that right foot up the sky, 3-legged dog, bend the knee, open the hip, and look underneath your right arm. Pick it back up, bring it down, left foot lifts, opening it up. Bring it back to 3-legged dog. This time, look between your thumbs. We're going to step that left foot forward. And if you get stuck, just grab your foot, bring it between your hands, and taking the hands down into a full runner's lunge. Let's step forward and find forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, grab opposite elbows and just fold in half. Just gently rock. Breathing here. Bend our knees. Slowly roll up like a rag doll, bone by bone by bone. Tracing the nerve endings on the shins, the thighs. So you come up and reach up. Take a back bend. Exhale and bring our hands to our heart center, coming back to the center of our mat. Again, finding our intention of why we are here. Toes to touch, heels slightly apart, and just connecting with breath. Deep, full breath in and out through the nose. Take a moment to send your heartfelt love out to those who are in this hurricane path right now. We're getting some cloud, maybe even some rain today from it here in North Texas. Definitely cooler weather and wind. So just honoring those that might be dealing with this major storm right now. Just reach up and take a back bend. And again, arms wide as you fold in half. In your forward bend, you're hinging from the hip and diving down to protect that low back. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Go ahead and drop the feet down and lift your heels and look forward coming into monkey. Deep breath here. On the exhale, step our right foot back into a low lunge. Drop the knee down. Scoot your heel so it's directly underneath your knee at a 90-degree angle. So you want to make sure that in your lunge, you're not pushing forward into your knee joint. Your heel is all the way underneath that knee. Thanks for being on. I'm so glad you're here today to do some yoga with us. Take a moment to honor yourself for showing up. Step back into our mini flow. We're just going to move through that low flow half series. Kneeling plank. Hips, shoulders, knees straight as a board. Crown of the head. So make sure you're not dropping your head. Crown of the head is pulling forward at a 45-degree angle from the earth. So that third eye is open. Exhale. Lift the hips slightly. Lower the heart center down to kiss the earth. Flattening the whole body out. Setting up for Bhujangasana, Cobra. Spread out the fingers and tuck your elbows back, touching the forehead to the earth. Inhale, rise up into your Cobra. Exhale into an active child's pose. Tuck the toes. Exhale all the way back. And reach those hips back over the heels. Spread out those fingers so you have a nice firm base on the earth. Grounding through the index finger, grounding through the thumb. And then moving through that turbo dog, using that core, rising up. And then exhale, just lowering partway down. Inhaling, downward facing dog. Exhale, lower halfway or part way. One more time. Inhale, coming all the way up into your downward facing dog. Let's lift that right foot to the sky. And again, bend the knee and open the hip. And look underneath your right armpit. Spread out those toes. Pick it back up and bring it down. Lift that left. Open that hip. Right now I'm super grateful for this cool breeze, which is so rare this time of year in North Texas. And again, coming into forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold in half. Shake it out. Bringing the feet to about shoulder width. Grab opposite elbows to find a nice good base for your forward fold. And then just gently rock here. Relaxing the head, neck, and shoulders. Bending the knees. Take that reverse swan dive. Again, arms come out, then up. Optional back bend. Hands come to our heart. Feet come back together in Samasthiti. Take a moment to honor yourself for practicing today, for showing up. We're going to move through that one more time. Inhaling to the top of our mat, reaching up, taking that back bend. And forward folding again from the hips all the way down. And let yourself drop in. Shake it out. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, touch the ground, bend the knees, and come into a monkey pose. It's kind of a variation of hand to toe, hand to big toe, gorilla pose. So good prep to step back into our lunge. So let's go ahead and step that left foot back this time. And finding that the left knee down, scoot that right foot between the thumbs. Again, so we're not pushing into that knee joint, we're protecting those knees. Breathing here, lifting up from the third eye. This is Anjaneyasana, so this is the third eye opening. We have a nice line of energy from that knee to the hip, to the shoulder, all the way through that third eye. So you can see that line of energy that you're keeping here. So make sure that knee's behind you. It's not down underneath you like a tabletop. You're breathing deep into that deep line of energy in the inner psoas. Creating space within the body. My anatomy teacher is Leslie Kamenoff, and he says we are space makers, space creators as yogis. We're creating space in the body. Come on up and reach. Big inhale. Exhale here, inhale, reach. Exhale, coming down, stepping back. Find your kneeling plank. Hips, shoulders, knees in a nice Ardha, half plank. Exhale, lowering down. Flatten the body out. Point your toes like the tail of a snake and make sure your toes are pointed back and the tops of your feet are grounded. Setting up for Bhujangasana, make your hands like a little tent and squeeze the elbows back by your body. So this Bhuja Anga is an arm. So we're going to tuck our forehead onto the earth and connect. Keep your chin tucked as you rise up. And then open into your Cobra. Sway on the way down. Exhale all the way back into your active child's pose. Toes tuck. Press back, arms straight. And let the head drop. Gently rock from side to side to connect here in your active child's pose. And then we're going to move through 5 breaths into turbo dog. Find your down dog. Exhale, lower partway down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. 2 more. This might just be a tiny little movement. It might be really deep where your knees hover the ground. Use that core and keep that line of energy from the palm all the way to the hip, not breaking at the shoulders. So you're not moving forward like this. You're staying in your downward facing dog shape. Exhale, walk, hop, or jump, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold in half. Shake it out. Grab your drink. We're just going to roll up like a rag doll. Nice and easy. Finding mountain pose. Take a moment to hydrate here. While we're hydrating, we put up a prayer flag every retreat we have. So prayer flags for our inner goddess retreats, they symbolize all the prayers of the women who come. And over the years, they tatter and bits of the threads fly off into the wind, and it carries the prayers off into the universe. And then eventually the prayer flags will tear, and then we'll find bits of them in the trees, and then eventually they'll be released. So that's the beauty about prayer flags, and that's why you see those here. That's why I chose this place for practice today. So we currently have prayer flags now all over our property here at Yoga for Love Inner Goddess Retreat Center, which is really beautiful. Let's bring our hands to our heart. We're going to check in with the energy of Garuda, which is a bird of prey. Garudasana Eagle. We're going to start in chair, sitting down, hands at our heart. Squeeze the inner thighs. Feet and knees are even. Now from here, we're going to simply lift up the right heel, step up and over, and touch the ball of your foot down on the other side of your ankle, stacking those knees. Sit down into your eagle. If you'd like to deepen, you can press your pinky toe into your calf, or you can hook your toes to peek out on the other side of your calf. Let's take our arms open. Like eagle wings, wrap your right arm under, left arm over the shoulder. So right arm's grabbing the armpit, left arm is over the shoulder. Gaze out in front of you to something that's stable, not your own image on the camera. Sinking down. Stacking the elbows, stacking the knees. You can take the arms back to back, lifting the elbows high as the shoulder, or wrap the fingers and spread out the fingers. Imagine you have these beautiful eagle wings you're tucking yourself into to nurture. We're going to move into a hawk posture, which is airplane. Sweeping the arms back, look at the ground, unwind, and then reach back and fly. Use your breath here. Spread out the fingers, spread out the toes. Coming into mountain. Nice work. Just reach up, flowing with the breath, knees soft, crisscross. Exhale, cross in front of the body. Let your head flow with the gaze up towards your arms as they reach up, and the gaze out toward the earth as you reach down, crisscrossing the other way. Reach all the way up. Bring our palms together, feet together. Exhale, returning to Samastitihi. Setting up for eagle on the other side. This time let's start with our arms, reaching out. Big eagle wings, and sit down. From here, pick up that left heel and step it over and touch down. We're going to take the arms, and since the left knee is over, we're going to take our left arm under this time, right arm over. Sink down here. And if you have long hair, you want to make sure your hair does not get caught in your arms here. And then tuck the toes, deepening here. Bring the hands back to back. Maybe wrap the fingers. Garudasana, Garuda, bird of prey. Breathe. Huge breath. Try to notice where your breath wants to stop. Breathe past that point. Try to notice where your breath wants to pause on the exhale and breathe all the rest of that old stale air out. Squeeze it out. Coming into hawk. Sweep back, gaze at the earth. And kick that foot back and fly. Spread out the fingers, spread out the toes, and breathe. Maybe lean forward a bit more, trusting yourself. Exhale, Tadasana. Flowing with the breath. Knees soft. Exhale out. Crisscross in front of your body. Feet are just shoulder width apart. Inhale all the way up to the sky. Take a swan dive and fold. drop into your forward fold. Again, let your head, neck, and shoulders just drop out. You want to find ragdoll? Let the backs of your hands touch the ground. Just gently relax into your forward fold. Looking forward into monkey pose one more time. On the exhale, let's step back into our full plank or walk, hop, or jump. Breathing into your plank, exhale, chaturanga. Inhale into your upward facing dog. Big breath here. And exhale to downward facing dog. Lowering down through turbo dog. And from here, finding kneeling plank. Exhale, lowering down heart center first, all the way to the earth like a caterpillar. Flatten your body out. Let's take 5 breaths in our Cobra wave. Tucking the forehead down. To deepen, bring your ankles closer together. Toes are pointed straight back. Elbows are squeezing by the sides. Go ahead and rest on your third eye. Keep your chin locked in throat lock. And as you rise up, come up with the back of the heart first. Swaying up like a cobra. Exhale, swaying down. 4 more breaths at your own pace. Sway. The top, open that throat. Lower. Last 2 breaths, Bhujangasana. Make sure you're not lifting your hips off the ground. So Cobra is a snake. The snake is gaining his energy to lift by pushing down with his feet. And all the way down. Sweep back into crocodile. So hands come back by the sides. Feet are wide, like a big V, and flex your heels so that your toes turn out, making a crocodile tail. Rest either on the chin or the forehead, keeping the neck in neutral, and then just gently sway the hips. Moving with this energy. Allowing that sacral chakra to shift and release thousands of years of whatever's been held here, giving it back to the earth to repurpose, recycle, and refresh. Go ahead and roll over to our backside. We're going to hug our knees into our chest and give ourselves a little massage, finding a flat part on the ground if you're outside, and just gently hug. And then the other way. Just lift up into a legs up the wall, Viparita Karani. Bring the heels so they're right above the tailbone, so you're not pulling your toes towards you. And just breathe here. Moving up into a shoulder stand or supported shoulder stand. Point the toes and spread out the toes. Ladies, it's almost like you're in high heels. So you're spreading out those toes and pulling your toes back to you. And then lift up. Coming into a supported half shoulder stand. And begin to walk up the back. Spreading out the shoulders and allowing that energy to move down into the earth. And then begin to point the toes. Still pulling those toes back, pushing up through the energy of the ball of the foot. You can also try dorsiflexion and see how that feels as you lift up into your shoulder stand. And
press out, allowing that energy to release down through the large muscles of the legs and out through your shoulders. Make sure your shoulders are open and relaxed so that this energy releases down into the earth. And breathe. Breathe all the way into your belly. Lift, lift, lift. Exhale, hinge at the hips. Coming into Plow Halasana. You can let your hips hover over, or you can touch down. Still supporting your back. And breathe. Come back through shoulder stand. All the way up. And bring it down. And roll up. Just knees to chest. Gently rocking. Let's hug our right knee in. We're going to extend the left leg and bring it down. Coming into a nice deep spinal twist. So take your left hand to your knee. Take your right hand out to the side or up and over. And then we're just going to shift the hips to the middle and roll onto that left side. And allow the hand just to rest on the knee. And then find a place for your toe to relax. Maybe you're hooking your toe behind your knee. Or maybe you're opening the foot and letting it rest on the ground. Or on your shin. And then just let your other arm drop out. So you're not holding or pushing your leg into an over twist. You don't want to wrench your spine, or you don't want to move your sacrum. So I always avoid using my hand here. And just lengthen the space of your right knee to your right shoulder. Breathe. Bring it back to center. Tippy toes. Center your hips. Hug it in. Extend your left leg, or your right leg. Bring it down. And scooting the hips to the side, taking your toe and knee across, hook your toe, and then let your arm just drop out so you're not forcing and pushing. If you push, you're going to feel it in your sacrum and your low back, and that might feel good for a minute, but that's not a sustainable practice. That is not healthy for the low back. It's not healthy for the sacrum to hyperextend like that. So just let gravity work, and if you need more support, find a block or a prop to put between the knee and the ground, and then drop into gravity rather than forcing and pushing. Never force or push in your practice, ever. And we're just going to let the arms drop open, just like we're reclining in a beach chair. Turn the head in the opposite direction of the knee. And again, find space by pressing the left knee down and rolling the left shoulder open. Breathe into that space. Deep, full inhale, lengthening the left side of the body. Wringing out and squeezing out to the bottom of your breath. Inhaling, coming back. And hug it in. And then the other way. Let's bring our feet down. Reach our hands toward the heels, and knees are bent. Heels are about shoulder width apart, and you could almost reach your heels. So there's about one of your own foot's length from the back of your heel to your sit bone. Setting up for bridge. Setu Bandha Sarvangasana. So we did a shoulder stand, which is a similar energy to bridge. So squeezing the shoulder blades together and then opening the space at the back of the shoulders. Spread out the toes, reach down towards your heels, and then we're going to roll up. And if you're just catching this, you can just take the end of this class. And then exhale, rolling down. It's so good to see y'all on. I'm so glad you're here. Always a pleasure. Rolling up in your bridge, just flowing. And exhaling down. Squeezing it out. Inhale, rolling imagine you're holding a beautiful strand of beautiful freshwater pearls, and you're just lifting them gently up, and then you're lowering them gently down. So imagine that's your spine, and you're treating that spine just as gently as you would that strand of pearls from your grandmother. Roll up into our bridge, and then tuck the shoulder blades together a little bit, but don't squeeze so much that there's space underneath your shoulder blades. You want them to be fully engaged in the ground. Reach your hands towards your heels to deepen, take that bind, interlocking the fingers, and tuck your bottom pinky in. Resting on the triceps here, lift up into your highest bridge with throat lock, Jalandhara Bandha. Breathe into this space. Again, relax your shoulders. Let the energy release. Don't hold it, release it. The energy of bridge is all about the floodwaters of life. So as floodwaters come through, as they always will, there's going to be a storm. You can let it rush underneath you, and you can hold steady and strong as you're grounded firmly and cabled into the earth. You're not shaking, you're not moving, you're immobile, and allowing that floodwater to rush underneath you and even over you sometimes, but you're unshakable. You're walking your truth. Release your bind and slowly roll down. Bone by bone, each little pearl of your spine touches. And let's just hug, giving yourself a nice little massage. Apanasana. Apana is that downward flow of energy. Whenever things seem chaotic, move into Apana, downward flow. Ground in. Do not get caught in the cyclone. Do not get caught in the hurricane. Do not let it lift you up and fly you into the air like Dorothy in Wizard of Oz. Tap in, root in, ground down, and do whatever it takes to stay fully grounded. The energy is shifting so much right now, and you have to be grounded in your practices. Your daily practice is what grounds you. It's what creates that super strong and unshakable foundation. Let's release to butterfly, feet together, and let the heels drop onto the ground. We're going to take Yoni Mudra, so we're going to make all 5 fingers and thumbs touching together. And then we're going to just bend the middle fingertip down to touch the fingernail. So it makes like a heart. You can see like a heart from your fingernail to your thumb. And this symbolizes the Yoni, the sacred divine feminine. And we're going to take that mudra and just set it right here on the sacral chakra. And take a moment just to meditate or pray, checking in with this energy of releasing from the sacrum. And breathe. Allowing whatever no longer serves us to be released from our life. As painful and as attached as we might be, you know what it is. Sit with that and release it. It might be something or someone that you love so dearly, but maybe you're finding out their true nature. It may be a habit or a food or something that just does not resonate with your highest path. What is it right now that you can let go of so you can make space for what Spirit is wanting to put into your life right now? What does that look like for you? Let it rise up and don't deny it. Because sometimes when we rise up, we're like, oh, no, it's not, that's not it. No, it can't be. Yeah, that's it. Sit with it. Breathe. This is especially hard when it comes to people. But you're going to notice that as you begin to walk your truth, your circle is going to get smaller and smaller and smaller. But that circle is going to be so freaking powerful. Let go of the extraneous relationships that don't serve you, that drain you, that are energy vampires, that waste your energy, that pull from you. so you can walk in your truth. You can love them from afar, but you don't have to let them into your daily world. So to tap into that energy of the sacrum today, go ahead and just take your knees up to the sky, and we're just going to place our hands almost like bridge, but we're just going to barely lift the hips and just make a gentle shaking and swaying. Allowing your hips to be weightless. Shaking out, releasing out, softening, just shimmying the hips and shoulders. Releasing all that out. In our shamanic work, this is where we would use the rattles and the drums to get all that energy moving out and down or out and up, wherever it needs to go. Shake it out. Release it out. Take a big breath in and exhale with a ha. Breath in and sound. Ha! You need to make the sound through your throat to release anything from the throat chakra. Let's do 4 more. Breath in and then ha. Ha! Breath in and then ha. Ha! And 1 more. Ha! And hug it in. Come into our final relaxation. You can center yourself on your mat here. And let yourself just drop into either Savasana, corpse pose, butterfly pose, or you can come onto your side into baby pose, stacking the knees, stacking the ankles, stacking the hips. And as you do, I'm going to just share a guided meditation. So you stay there and stay there as long as you'd like. And we're just going to move into a tranquil place in nature. So wherever you're at, just leave your body here guarded by your guides and your angels, your master teachers, your spirit animals, and calling in your highest good. Allow your body to be nourished by those master healers as it rests here on your mat. And then traveling in your mind's eye to a body of water that calls you. It might be a sacred well. It might be a spring, a creek, a river, a lake, a waterfall, the ocean, a little pond. So wherever that body of water is, find a trail from your mat and just follow it out or fly there in your mind's eye. And as you settle into this tranquil place, find a place to lie down by this body of water. And then begin to notice, is it daytime or is it night? What season is it? Are you even on planet Earth? Or maybe you're somewhere else in this galaxy or another galaxy. It may look like Earth, it may not. You may even be in the polar ice caps where the water is frozen. And as you tap into the surroundings, begin to notice if there's any flora or fauna around you. And make note of the plants and the plant spirits that have come to support you in this journey. You might see flowers, you might see trees, you might see shrubs and brush or grasses. Just make a note that these beautiful sacred plants are here to support you. And then notice if there's any animals that have joined you today. They might be peeking out from behind some of the plants or shrubbery or trees, or they might be making themselves boldly known. Greeting them with your heart space, allowing them their own space to approach you, and letting them know that they can trust you. And these might be your power animals that have been with you for this whole entire incarnation and even past. They might be just coming in to pop in and say a message, and just as a spirit guide or a totem. Or this might be an overseeing energy that you've seen your whole life, and now it's coming into confirmation that yes, I do resonate with you. What messages do you have for me today? And just ask
your plant teachers and your power animal guides, they have any messages. Sitting with that, allowing yourself to be completely relaxed. If your mind comes out of your tranquil space, just simply focus on the sound of your breath. If thoughts are fleeting through your mind, allow them to have your attention just like you look at a cloud, and then just let it just drift away. If you try to fight it, it will continue to grab your attention. So it's okay, and just let it pass. Sitting with this as long as you would like. Allow yourself to stay in this beautiful, tranquil place and make a commitment to come to your beautiful, tranquil place. No one else is allowed in this tranquil place without your permission. This is yours and your sacred space for you and you alone. I encourage you to stay here for as long as you'd like, and take a journal after your practice today and just jot down some notes, either voice texting it to your phone or grabbing a pad and paper, and notice what has risen up. It will leave very fast if you get on with your daily activities, so immediately your assignment is to journal. Just quick notes to remind you of your tranquil place and how to get here. I'm going to leave you in your Savasana. Stay here as long as you would like. Thank you so much for joining me. It's such an honor to bring you these teachings and to be your guide on this journey. I love you each so very much. So good to see you. Namaste.